Hello and welcome back to Soft Spoken Storytime, Episode 22. Continuing on with SCP-001. Codename Billith, The World at Large. You are accessing Site-01 Archives. Deep Storage. Please wait. Loading 001.scp.archive at dir/ARC/E/EE00059.rtf. Event number EE00059. Due to the nature of EE00059, classification as a proper SCP is unnecessary. Knowledge of the existence of EE00059 is largely credited as non-anomalous, due in part by successful disinformation campaigns. Therefore, no containment measures are required at this point. Any transmissions or activity arising from EE00059's vicinity are to be reported and purged of all public knowledge if possible. Event description. Extra-normal event 00059 was observed on June 14, 2006, in a region of space roughly 1.6 billion light-years from Earth, in the constellation Indus. Footnote 1. Therefore indicating its initial source to be approximately 1.6 billion years in the past. It was detected via the Neil Garis Swift Observatory Telescope system as a prolonged gamma-ray burst designated GRB 060614. EE00059-1 is an emergent Class E momentary lapse of reason wormhole. S-CSMWAUC2T. Footnote 2. Spatial cycling stability, stationary, manifested, wide area, uncertain, conditional two-way transient. See A Discourse on the Unification of Technological Canon via the classification of extra-dimensional portals, i.e. wormholes, and other similar case files for more information. That was observed for approximately 102 seconds, during which it exhibited atypical behavior that contradicted all known theoretical and applied models of space-time folds. During the event, EE00059-1 was observed to behave in a manner that first resembled traditional Einstein-Rosen wormholes, emitting unidentified matter and light, but otherwise resisting the inbound flow of normal matter and likely fatal to organic life due to topological decoherence. Footnote 3. Although topologically sound along their outer bounds, typical wormholes are not simply connected surfaces and thus possess extremely compressed multidimensional Calabi-Yau manifolds at their center. However, the region was considered several magnitudes brighter than the predicted calculations implied, to an intensity only suggested to occur in white holes, which have never been observed. Upon closer analysis, EE00059-1 appeared to be exerting no effect on the surrounding space, evidence that suggests the anomaly had little or no gravitational field. This is more consistent with Ellis wormholes, which are fully transferable, non-flat, three-dimensional regions of simply connected space-time folds. These paradoxical behaviors cannot coexist simultaneously, as each has physical consequences that manipulates its own scalar field into a state that by definition cannot support the initial conditions of the others. EE00059-2 are a series of low-frequency transmissions that originated from the direction of EE00059 during the event. Due to the range and speed of radio waves, it is likely that anomalous broadcasting equipment may have been used to transmit the messages. See EE00059-2 transcript logs for more information. Loading 001.scp.archive at dir/arc/events/other/EE00059-02_log.rtf. Access transcript log 00059-2-1. Confirmed. Transcript log 00059-1-1. Note: this is the first received transmission from the direction of EE00059, taking place over the course of 30 minutes. Context is unknown, and only one party is heard speaking, labeled POI 00059-A. All transmissions are in an unknown language, with phonetic and syntactical structure bearing similarities to Sumerian and Mapudungun, with an unknown dialect. Therefore, a Foundation cultural liaison was necessary to help facilitate translation. Footnote 4. Found in southern Chile, a language spoken by some indigenous populations found in southern Chile and Argentina. Begin transcript. POI-00059-A. Static. Maybe/unsure they can static us. POI-00059-A. Static. Not spend time. Unknown. Light. Not far behind. POI-00059-A. No. Unknown. Light. Left us alone. Static. POI-00059-A. Static. Maybe/unsure. POI-00059-A. Unknown. Light. There. Static. POI-00059-A. 5, 3. Be it. Static. POI-00059-A. Static. Feel/register. That? POI-00059-A. No. Unknown obscenity? How? End transcript. Access transcript log 00059-2-2. Confirmed. Transcript log 00059-1-2. Note: conversation is recorded between what are presumably two parties over a period of 5 minutes, labeled POI 00059-A and POI 00059-B. Context unknown. Begin transcript. POI 00059-A. Static. Is unknown. Undone. POI 00059-B. Seem/think. So. Likewise/again. We must move. Maybe/unsure. When. Unknown. Light. To catch/grasp. We. POI 00059-A. No need. Static. That. Detect/see. Some wrong. Unknown. Icon. POI 00059-B. I. Likewise/again. What? Static. You. Seem/think. B. Because. POI 00059-B. Bad. Choose/decide. Danger. To detect/see more. I seem/think. POI 00059-B. Static. There. 7, 4. POI 00059-A. Feel/register. Static. We are alone for now. POI 00059-B. But maybe/unsure. In how? Static. Time. POI 00059-A. Unknown. Light. Detect/see us either way. POI 00059-B. What do we decide/choose? I don't want to die, not with so many. POI 00059-B is drowned out by multiple loud tones. End transcript. Access transcript log 00059-2-3. Confirmed. Transcript log 00059-1-3. Note: this is a short record of the last fragmented conversation recorded from the direction of EE 00059, during which EE 00059-1 was observed for the first time. It took place over a period of 10 minutes between two groups of individuals, labeled POI 00059-A and POI 00059-B. Begin transcript. POI 00059-A. Static. 1-4. Static. 1-8. Think/register. That. POI 00059-B. Yes, but we all need to leave. Have unknown. Responsibility to the unknown. Bedrock. Men and immortals again/likewise. POI 00059-A. Static. 9. Static. Again/likewise. 9-1-3. Still unknown. Gathering. Wave. Push/start. POI 00059-B. Enemy will grasp/catch. Soon. 3. Maybe/unsure. 4. Static. Too far behind. POI 00059-B. Static. Have to move now. EE 00059-1 is observed opening. 2 small objects can be seen occulting the wormhole, but they are too small to discern. POI 00059-A. Wait, we see/detect something. Static. Not going to believe me. Static. Unknown. Current. Door. See/detect in the fog/mist. POI 00059-A. Again/likewise. You see/detect. Static. Thing. POI 00059-B. Yes, we again/likewise. But what of order/command? POI 00059-A. Unknown. Invert. POI 00059-B. Static. Bad. Feel/register. To this. Maybe/unsure. Of death. Static. POI 00059-A. Static. Sorry. Unknown name. It is the only choose/decide. We will die in the unknown. Empty. POI 00059-A. See/detect. Unknown. Current. Static. Small now. Tell. Static. Love them. POI 00059-B. Good luck. POI 00059-A. Static. We are close to unknown. Shoreline. Static. You could see/detect. This. I can't. Static. POI 00059-B. What? What do you see/detect? POI 00059-A. Distorted. POI 00059-B. Unknown. Name. Please. Again/likewise. 1-4. POI 00059-A. Screaming. Object likely corresponding to POI 00059-A is seen redshifting and vanishing into EE 00059-1. POI 00059-B. Unknown obscenity. We need to move. Static. Maybe/unsure. Dead. EE 0059-1 closes completely. POI 00059-B. Unknown. Current. Left. Where did they go? Where? Static. POI 00059-B. No, not like this. Static. This is unknown. Name of unknown bedrock. Survival transport ship. We were attacked. Many remain, but Earth was unknown, undone, left into mist/fog. We maybe/unsure, if static. My words in time. We are moving to star group blank blank blank. Please, anyone. Maybe/unsure, static. Some help. We are without home, left to rot/decay. In the unknown, empty. Unknown, light. Arrives. We have to travel through wave push/start. Unknown, wheel. Now. Again/likewise. Moving to group blank blank blank. Static. Help us all. End transcript. Loading. 00059.scp.archive@dir/arc/e/00059_exploration.rtf. The Altruist 9 probe located in the Site 88 aerospace hangar. On May 18, 2027, the Foundation proposed the construction of the Altruist 9 Deep Space Probe in order to observe the status of EE-00059's location, which was approved by a majority vote of the O5 Council. In the event EE-00059-1 re-emerges upon contact with the location, the Altruist 9's support structures and core payload are kept encased in an exotic polypeptide oligomer weave derived from the wreckage of data purged Port 05 request. Footnote 5. Contains a small solar-powered autonomous drone and atmospheric measuring equipment. Footnote 6. Affectionately termed Casimirium after the Casimir polar force, this material possesses a non-baryonic lattice which generates a quantized field that cannot be altered by normal matter or physical forces. This material violates both mass-energy equivalence and the average null energy condition when placed inside non-trivial curved spacetime, resulting in a polymer that will retain initial vector and relative dimensions without risk of decoherence during traversal through EE-00059-1. In order to reach EE-00059 within a reasonable amount of time, the Altruist 9 was constructed with a faster-than-light drive and high-efficiency solar sails. However, due to expected adverse quantum effects resulting from non-baryonic exotic matter used in the drone's construction, overall travel time is likely to be impacted. Update. On February 26th, the date of the Altruist 9's arrival into EE-00059's location, initial readings were recorded and proven to be non-anomalous. Shortly afterwards, however, activity from the region was detected. EE-00059-1 was seen manifesting adjacent to the probe, which was then piloted inside. The phenomenon once again ceased action after 102 seconds. Due to the atypical and intense nature of these manifolds, the Altruist 9 will likely not be recovered from contact with the EE-00059-1. However, functional capabilities of the probe's inner core are assumed to have survived traversal and continues to make observations on EE-00059-1's opposite side until contact is re-established on an unspecific date. Loading. 05.001.scp.archive@dir/arc/mainlist/scp-001.rtf. SCP-001. Item number SCP-001. Object Class NetZac. Special Containment Procedures NA. Footnote 7. As dictated by consensus reality. Description. SCP-001 is the designation for the planetary body known as Earth. Given that SCP-001 has existed for the entirety of human memory and written history, the anomalous improbability of Earth's nature as compared to all other planets in the observable universe, investigated by the Foundation's TELUS program, is widely regarded as normal within public perception. Footnote 8. TELUS, the Terrestrial Earth-like Low-Orbit Universal Sweep, is a specialized thaumaturgic detection system and successor to TULIP. Personnel are to remind themselves daily of the anomalous nature of the planet, especially during times of perceived ennui in regards to the participation within the Foundation or when engaging in dissenting thought patterns. Personnel are to encourage one another to persevere through difficult workplace situations with the knowledge that the planet we inhabit is anomalous in its entirety, and actively resist the order of civilization with chaos and aberration. Doing so has increased both productivity and containment success rates, the latter of which by over 12% in the last 5 years. SCP-001-E-1 SCP-001-E1 is the designation for the remains of a spacecraft recovered during an archaeological expedition in the Atacama Desert of Chile in 1946, led by American paleontologist Dr. Hubert Blank. Blank immediately reported his findings to the Society for American Archaeology, piquing the interest of a number of different parties. Footnote 9. Among these reported to have made inquiries into the nature of SCP-001-E1 were a young Vincent Anderson and an individual named Robert Carter, although whether or not the latter was actually the person of interest with the same name remains to be seen. The remaining components of the ship's outer hull were excavated and found to be comprised of highly durable exotic polymers that appeared unaffected by time or exposure to the elements. Various dating methods have analyzed the material and yielded inconsistent results. Despite this, recovered information suggests the vessel was several billion years old. Large areas of SCP-001-E1 appeared to have been converted into makeshift living space, implying the vehicle was intact when it landed and did not crash upon its arrival. Additionally, remnants of effects such as clothing, electronics, and furniture were recovered as well, all possessing anomalous materials and abilities that resisted normal wear to varying degrees. The full size of the vessel is unknown, but considered to be large enough to contain a moderate population of humans, the remains of which presumably decomposed naturally. Aside from POI-001, who was recovered from within SCP-001-E2. SCP-001-E2 is a set of 36 highly advanced cryogenic stasis pods that were discovered among the wreckage in a partially powered hibernation mode when SCP-001-E2 was excavated. Of all the pods discovered, only one was still functional and contained data purged per O5 request, whose core tenets and general distrust of anomalous artifacts would establish the Foundation's presence on Earth as a force to contain aberrant objects, locations, and phenomena, beginning with those found inside SCP-001-E1. Footnote 10. A trait POI-001 attributed to an increase in dependence on the anomalous for everyday life, leading to stagnation and disaster that resulted in the destruction of their home planet. Also found among the rubble were several anomalous data storage devices that appeared effectively destroyed, despite being comprised of similarly resistant exotic materials as other items found inside SCP-001-E1, implying they may have been damaged intentionally. Analysis revealed the only salvageable information recovered from a 2 cm² fragment composed of an extremely compressed form of multi-layered information medium, presented as a set of thin layers of vertically stacked sets of data. The documents recovered from the interpreted data were then translated from their original language, which was comprised entirely of Class 1 cognitohazardous glyphs that appear similar to the engravings found on SCP-093. Footnote 11. Multiple similarities have been noted in iconography, as well as mythological materials recovered from UE 54701, suggesting data purged per O5 request. These glyphs seem to cause a subjective Rosetta Stone effect in readers, allowing for full comprehension of the material regardless of previously known languages and/or reading level. Analysis of the language is ongoing. Recovered excerpts can be found in the attached file SCP-001 Recovered Materials Log. Loading 05.001.scp.archive at dir/arc/mainlist scp-001-recovered-materials-log.rtf. Access 001-E1-A89.rtf. Confirmed. Alteration number A.89. Classification biological/neurological. Details. Implementation of A.89 behavior complex is considered a success and requires no further alterations at this time. In the event of a future Class 8 atmospheric hazard scenario, A.89 tactics will be modified and enacted immediately in order to minimize casualties and integrate new humanoid life forms into suitable host environments. A.89 behavior complex was implemented on 7.124.5 8.4b during successful host integration on Earth-like terrestrial planet Axiom 8. During relocation from Earth Prime, after its destruction via solar collision, Axiom 8 was deemed most suitable for humanoid life. Axiom 8 was contacted and verified to be uninhabited and contained a nitrogen primary atmosphere. Establishment of basic infrastructure in humanoid containment/living areas was interrupted due to a Class 8 atmospheric hazard scenario in which Axiom 8 became contaminated by approximately 21% volume of highly corrosive quantities of O2, rendering it near fatal to most life forms and requiring implementation of A.89. A.89 is a group of involuntary reflexes and modifications to base physiology that alter the general biological qualities of new life forms generated using the Foundation Bioevolution Catalyst Machine. A.89's primary complex is an involuntary oscillatory action involving a short inhalation of air, followed by the expansion of the eardrum that correctly balances out hyperpressurization of the surrounding environment and accounts for the loss of nitrogen in certain pockets of the atmosphere where oxygenation becomes temporarily imbalanced. Additionally, minor alterations are underway that assist in the utilization of oxygen as a means of support life in general. Research ongoing. Additional notes. Experimentation. This is a brief summation of various tests performed on life forms undergoing application of A.89. Using the Foundation Biological Evolution Catalyst Machine. Test number A.89-1. Life form, Earth Prime reptile, small. Resultant effect. Application failure. Exposure to Axiom 8 causes massive autophagia due to changes in pressurization and rapid cell oxidation. A.89-2. Earth prime reptile small. Application failure. Subject dies from seizure when attempting to utilize new physiological changes. Neural connective pathways to be readjusted to account for this. A89-8. Earth prime reptile large. Application partial success. Exposure to Axiom 8 is sustainable for 2 cycles longer than usual before succumbing to cell oxidation. A.89 behavior exhibited and appeared to prevent nitrogen deprivation. Lipid measurements taken and proven to be normal. A.89-15 Earth prime reptile large. Application partial success. Exposure causes no pressure imbalances. A.89 behavior exhibited throughout. Lapses into coma shortly after due to nitrogen deprivation. A.89-22 Earth prime reptile large. Application partial success. Physiological adaptability was found to grow out of control. Subject is resistant to termination but receives damage normally before recovering at an alarming rate. Subject placed in high security chamber for study. A.89-27 Standard human. Application success. Subject able to withstand Axiom 8 atmosphere. Complaints of minor headache and occasional epistaxis are observed. A.89 through -38 5 standard humans. Application partial success. Subjects are able to withstand Axiom 8 atmosphere unless in groups. Partially dense pockets of oxygen still cause nitrogen deprivation when multiple life forms are present. A.89-40 5 standard humans. Application partial success. Implementation of mild cognitive influence to initiate A.89 when in groups appears to dramatically decrease mortality rate. Base modifications to overall nitrogen volume requirements underway, but these changes are not scheduled to complete for another 12 cycles. A.89-44 5 standard humans. Application successful. Cognitive effect successful in preventing death in 97.8% of cases. Work to extend the lifespan of humans back to their average of blank is ongoing. A.89-68 1 standard human. Application partial success. Cell oxidation prevented enough to increase average lifespan to blank, 1/5 of the previous average. Further chances of physiology provide no increased benefits. Access 001-E1-passenger.rtf. Confirmed. Data corrupt. Been talking with the crew and the other passengers. The general consensus seemed to be that we should leave him in stasis. I don't support this. For the record, data corrupt. I have to do what's best for the human race. We don't need any radical anti-aberrants muddling our ideals, especially when those same aberrations are necessary for our survival. Access 001-E1-axiom.rtf. Confirmed. Axiom 8. It is no doubt that the body is an enigma. After thousands and thousands of years in stasis, the search to find a new home came to its conclusion on a planet bearing striking resemblance to Earth Prime. It's not just improbable, it's impossible. Our models couldn't predict an outcome that led to a place with such perfect conditions. Earth Prime, our gift from the gods, or so we, data corrupt. While we knew exactly how the universe began, how all of them began really, we couldn't just state a single simulation where we held all the conditions necessary for a planet like Earth Prime to exist, let alone 2 of them. Access 001-E1-note.rtf. Confirmed. Data corrupt. Will stand the test of time. If you find this and we have lost hope, or we have forgotten who we are, where we came from, that you should know of our past, that the human race is the chosen child of fate. The world at large may be ephemeral, But we are not. The whole was made for us. We are the foundation, the bedrock of the universe. You think finding an exact copy of our already absurdly unlikely world is questionable? How about that life would evolve to us specifically, and that same life would go on to actually find this other planet? It's not impossible. It's been planned. The wormhole, the planet, paradise and her reflection, everything. There is someone there beyond understanding, pushing us in ways that just as easily help us as humble us. I believe it is the Founder and the Seven, our true gods, that are protecting us from inevitability, and we are cursed for it. Scared, alone in the universe. Data corrupt. Constantly coming back from the brink of oblivion, surging to power, then almost destroying ourselves again, like the serpent that consumes itself. The foundation stands, even when the rest of the home is destroyed, often the only thing left when the smoke clears. So then shall we continue, so shall we persist. No matter the suffering, no matter the cost unto ourselves. In that right, I don't believe we've ever seen true paradise, nor will we ever rest. I don't think we have a choice. They won't let us die. A place to call your home. It would be many, many years before the Altruist 9 finally made contact with EE-00059's location, which would appear initially to be a large waste of a trip. The Altruist 9's metal chassis glimmered as it sat within the sky, scanning the area with billion-dollar sensors, floating in the endlessness of deep space. Almost picturesque, a feat of human engineering surrounded by stars on all sides. It didn't take long for that stillness of everything to be interrupted by a sudden and unexplained light. It started near the probe, expanding outward until it was massive in size, a giant disk in the sky, presenting itself to the Altruist 9. EE-00059-1, the wormhole. Upon piloting itself inside and approaching the sixth-dimensional manifold at EE-00059-1's epicenter, the probe witnesses an experience that defies words. It happened briefly, in a moment, and then passes like a dream. Nothing else could be said about it. Not long after, the Altruist 9 would deliver its payload of humanoid information and a single drone containing an advanced AIC known as Buddy to the only planet remotely close to the wormhole. Buddy is a six-legged anthropod-structured drone capable of observing, storing, and relaying information for Foundation analysis. Unfortunately, all transmissions within Buddy.aic were lost upon its traversal into EE-00059-1. The technology capable of returning transport of similar probes was assumed to be unfeasible by any life forms on the opposite side of the anomaly. This was not really the case. Technology like this had existed for 1.5 billion years on the opposite side of EE-00059-1. Truth is, no life forms on the other side cared about the Altruist 9. It was nothing new. The wormhole that would go on to be defined as EE-00059-1 ejected plenty of debris from other worlds. Things on the other end would attempt, and fail, to communicate with the trillions of life forms that resided and died on the place known as the Stack. It was ironic how little a difference something named the Altruist would seem to make on the greater good of any carbon-based life on that horrid planet. Existence there was hard enough. On the other end of an Ellis wormhole, just a hop, skip, and jump away from what we call Earth, was a small, barren planet of dust and deserts. It orbited a black body sun that, while rather dim, would burn the eyes out of any living being, even remotely squinting at its surface. At the time of their arrival, this didn't matter. The human race was about to come to an abrupt end due to a very angry star, thrown by an even angrier god, and the planet on the other end seemed like as good a place as any to temporarily give relief to the 4 billion life forms escaping from the supernoval clutches of instant death brought on by one confused, edgy jerk of a celestial body. Although the people of modern-day Earth would have all but forgotten the destruction of their home planet, the loss of contact and the subsequent repopulation of the other half of the people was complete. There, stories of what had happened would be passed down with significant recall that most would know quite well. It was, after all, their legacy that brought them there. Alone, free from both the evils of the universe and the Foundation, whose interest in the abnormal quite possibly spurred the destruction that led them here. They learned to live and rely solely on one another. The lack of outside interests meant an era of peace that would go on to solidify their residence on the stack. New Earth, on the other hand, would go on to be mostly successful, almost burning itself out on multiple occasions, and definitely on certain timelines, but we won't get into that. Civilizations would rise and fall, paradigms shifted, history wrote and rewrote itself so many times that their origins would never truly be known. The people in the stack did both better and worse, as they developed far away from their brethren on the blue-green world of dirt and water. The stack was named so due to it being immeasurably high and cramped. Atmospheric regions on the surface planet were pretty hot, melting the flesh off of most things that dared to walk about during the perpetual shadowy daytime of the tidally locked planet. The stack was located on the cooler side and had grown to be loved and hated by its residents, who had no other choice than to live out their days on their lonely new home. The stack was built from most of the wreckage that didn't completely burn up on its way onto the surface of the planet. It was a hodgepodge, yet tightly wound community of beings that had little to do other than survive, and occasionally eat one another if it came to it. It was miserable, to say the least, with brief periods of beauty and wonder that broke free of the monotony of their daily lives. People inside the stack were kept sheltered from the oppressive rays of the outside, only venturing into the wastes of hull debris, and corpses in suits that only gave maybe first-degree burns to their occupants. When the Altruist 9 had entered the nearby wormhole, its outer structure was essentially annihilated on the way through. Its payload and inner structure was covered in a thick thermal plate of exotic matter that resembled raspberry jam but tasted like formaldehyde and could strip paint off of most cars. Buddy was unfazed by this because he was what you would call a cold, unfeeling machine. Buddy.aic landed not too softly on the surface of the desert planet, a few kilometers outside the gray-silver walls of the stack. After initial readings of the atmosphere, it was revealed to be nitrogen-rich, but lacked oxygen completely. Buddy.aic began its meandering about in the general direction of the structure with intent to find something new and exciting to report to its people back home. In the grand scheme, it only took Buddy a short while to find the towering citadel known as the Stack. Being solar-powered made this whole ordeal a breeze for the drone, which could sustain indefinitely were it not destroyed in one of many other fashions. Buddy.aic first had attempted to scale the walls of the complex with little success. Shortly afterward, it would begin following the perimeter of recycled debris until it found a suitable entryway. Circumnavigating for the 7th hour, Buddy was greeted by a gated fence that revealed a dark, dank hallway comprised of welded-together metal panels. The ceiling was low, with large patches of shadows that were interrupted by the occasional light in the distance. Buddy extended its front left leg, which split at the end to reveal its multi-tool hidden inside. A small pair of bolt cutters extended with a whir, the lone drone then going to work, snapping at links in the fence. Once a sizable enough hole had been made, Buddy retracted his tool and climbed through with decent dexterity, passing rapidly inside. The long hall appeared to travel forever, the walls too dark to reveal any number of connecting pathways. Buddy has slightly better night vision than the usual human orbiting the bright star known as Sol. However, so about 5 meters in, he was given an optional left turn into complete darkness. Taking a minute to decide on a path, Buddy.aic selected the pre-programmed route algorithm for base Euclidean labyrinth structures, following the left wall. The hall ended at a T-intersection rather abruptly, the right path becoming a set of uneven steps that ascended deeper inside. The drone continued left, which turned on a bend into a small room. However empty, it appeared lived in. Scraps of food and various unidentified tchotchkes littered the shelves and floor. Noises of talking can be heard briefly, gaining Buddy's attention, who piloted his shell towards the opposite door. Passing the threshold into yet another hallway, light is seen growing from a connecting path. Buddy halts and recorded the presence of a large bioluminescent creature resembling a jellyfish floating in from the right and continuing on left. It appears unaware of the drone's existence, so Buddy reprograms his route to follow the creature, turning shortly after. This continues for some time until the entity floated and phased into the wall on its left, leaving behind no trace of its existence. Buddy picked up the sound of commotion up ahead and proceeded to travel onward. In the room up ahead, the space widened out, expanding and turning into a large workshop. A dismantled vehicle resembling a snowmobile lied in the corner, propped up on blocks and near a garage door which presumably led outside. Creatures of varying size and shape appeared to perform various tasks. The noise of commotion and machinery pervaded the space. The drone piloted itself to a pair of feet, apparently belonging to a middle-aged humanoid, laying under the propped-up vehicle. The figure didn't see the drone until a while later, its camera lens focused intently on his shrouded form. Cautiously, he started to push himself out from underneath, a look of confusion on his tired face.
Hello, I am Buddy.aic. I come on the behalf of the Foundation and humanity.
Amusement ran across his visage, temporarily hiding the fatigue. When he spoke, the language was strange but familiar, closely resembling that of the alien linguistics taken from the broadcasts heard thousands of years prior. Surprisingly similar but more nuanced and verbose. The human vocal range was not nearly as complex as one would think, and the drone knew this too. The people of the stack had little in the way of foreign influence, creating a trillion voice echo chamber that only reinforced past beliefs and customs. Pausing for a moment, Buddy allowed his internal Rosetta Stone to scan the foreign words and algorithmically translate them based on context and past conversation.
Humanity? What humans are you talking about? Hey Trey, get over here and look at this.
What is it?
A little bot just came inside on behalf of humanity. What do you think of that, Trey?
Emerging from the back room, another rugged figure comes into view, tall and lanky, wiping his calloused hands on a greasy apron.
Must be confused or something. You're talking to humans? You're awfully shiny, by the way.
Hi, I am Buddy.aic.
You said that already.
I am an artificial agent contained within this metal framework. I am here to relay information of the status of EE-00059 and report it back to Earth.
Earth? The Earth? It was destroyed. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, Buddy.
Earth is a terrestrial planet in the Lenaca supercluster, some 1.5 billion light-years from the opposite end of your one-way wormhole.
No duh. What dimension do you hail from then, Buddy?
I have not been programmed to provide an accurate answer to that question. If you came from the wormhole, same as us. Well, our Earth was destroyed by a sentient star long ago. Half of us were probably lost to that thing. The only reason we made it here was that wormhole. That fat thing couldn't fit through. You seem to be referring to anomalous designation SCP-1548. I have no records of such an event occurring within our present reality. Would you care to provide more details about the event?
No.
The human race is currently being pursued by SCP-1548, which is scheduled to complete its course within blank years from now. Were a plan to be devised, there is still time to contact Earth and prevent its destruction.
Don't care. We lost that thing, and he hasn't found us yet. No way to get back through with any of the junk here. Out of my hands, mate.
Isn't the human race something worth fighting for?
Is it worth all of us dying for? If that thing found out where this place was, it would... You have no idea what that star is capable of.
Would you care to provide more details as to the abilities of anomalous designate?
No! Why didn't the jellies get this annoying little piece of junk?
What are jellies?
Security creatures. Sniff out negative intent and subdue intruders like yourself. The old humans found them when they mapped out the universe. Nearly got away with it too, but poke your head in other people's business and you might just get yourself fried.
Buddy.aic chimes, a low battery icon flashing briefly.
Running out of juice there? Our sun might be a dark one, but it gives off plenty of heat and energy. Please, go ahead.
I will return to speak to you shortly.
Yeah, I bet.
The drone returns outward, parking itself in the hot sands and charging slowly against the dim light of the black body star. Sometime later, Buddy decided to make his way back into the stack. Returning to the workshop, the commotion has not subsided, with different machines being serviced and different beings doing the servicing. Approaching another worker, a pale human with semi-translucent skin, Buddy introduced himself in this only way he knows how. Hello, I am Buddy.aic. I come on behalf of the Foundation and humanity. The creature stopped and set down the box he was holding, perplexed. What the hell? Suddenly he staggered, clutching his head. One by one, the others in the room started to sway and express distress, although it was not clear why. They fell to the ground in moaning heaps, eyes rolling back into their heads. In fact, this was currently happening to every single life form with a brain on the stack. But he could not understand the full scope of the event, for he lacked a proper mind himself. As the beings writhed in agony, they spoke, sometimes one at a time, sometimes in groups. Their words called out like the beckon of a worried mother, fueled by an agency that implied true, unyielding suffering. The stream of words and random voices pierced together to form a single thread of consciousness, one that reached out to speak through those whose minds could feel its contact. Thus, Buddy was the only one who actually heard the message. It echoed like a fragmented broadcast rearranged into sentences as beings around the stack rendered their will unknowingly. Sleeping time, in time, bound in the coalescence of plans and points and space. Hi, I am Buddy.aic.
Child, listen. Speaks briefly. Minds relay. Connection weak. Strongest here.
Do you pose a threat to humanity?
Not hurt. Only speak. Time, in time, short. Need mind speak. Mind strong. Connection strong. Death of mind. Death to all. Beware, child.
Beware of what?
The one seeks to end connection, end growth, end minds, end growth.
Where are you located?
The Peregrine, in the folds. Peregrine.
You mean the Peregrine 9 shuttle?
Time short, lead, despised, into folds. Goodbye. And just like that it was gone. The residents of the planet were unconscious and would remain so for the next few hours. They didn't understand him. They probably never will. On its way to fulfill its mission, the hateful star was having a pretty bad time. Not much had happened in the last few eons, but that didn't stop the celestial body from being quite jaded about the whole ordeal. Many years ago, when he had awoken from his near-endless slumber, the hateful star had been a decently nice guy. Back then it didn't really hate much, didn't do much at all actually. The star was like any other, moving swiftly along, pushed by the ever-accelerating expansion of the universe. It was happy this way. It was the order of things. But then those humans came about. Back in the day, the humans were nothing but your average parasite, sucking the life out of one planet and moving on with a woe-is-me look on their face. They developed this thing where they believed they were special, that they were the ultimate owners of the universe. Nothing owns the universe, not anymore. Honestly, it was nothing personal. In the end of the day, they would have to die. That's just how life works. It just needed to be done a little quicker. The human population was expanding exponentially, and you would not believe how much of an issue this would become. See, no one would go as far as to say that the universe they all lived and died in was a simulation, or a computer program, or anything like that, despite the evidence that supports the theory. What the star would say, if it had the patience to explain, was that whatever this place was, it was finite. It had its limits, and the celestial form was the first to see how those limits put strain on the framework of the universe itself. It all started with a little black dot, a point in space-time where there was truly nothing, not a vacuum, but a true emptiness, the lacking. At the time, it meant nothing but a place of curiosity. It was harmless, as it seemed, and not alive in any sense, just a small hole into some place very different from here. The issues started shortly afterward. One day, the star had looked over at the space between spaces and saw that it had grown. Not just grown, it was growing. A few millennia later, it had devoured its first galaxy. This was when the body known as the hateful star would begin to fill its purpose. The star began tearing itself away from its place in the universe, its true location. It wasn't easy. The expansion of the universe was a powerful thing, and fighting that took all the strength it had. Luckily, the ethereal sphere got a boost from an old friend, and slowly, achingly, it began traveling towards the home of the humans, Earth Prime. Earth Prime, or just Earth as it was known then, was a magnificent display of the talents of the one who made this place, that nameless, faceless thing the hateful star saw twice in its short life of however many billions of years. It was a world lush with life and value, the two things humans love most of all, themselves and things for themselves. The star knew more than it would let on. It knew great distances, and it knew what each and every human on Earth Prime was thinking at that very moment. They were worry-free. That would change. You might be asking yourself, how did these humans, forever in their infinite glory, tie in with the thing on the opposite side of the universe, slowly taking it away? The World Eater, the lack of things. It was a sign that all the processing power in the universe just wasn't enough. You think making a galaxy is hard? That stuff is so predictable, you can simulate it on a calculator. But minds? No. Minds require finesse, require individuality and a complexity that far exceeded that of the rest of the world around it. Something like that is fine in small amounts, fine in moderation, but humans are not a race known for their restraint. They've multiplied exponentially, and now there's 90% of the limit of the universe pointing down in one spot. There were some here and there, some things with simple minds, but Earth was the problem child, and always was. It would be the undoing of everything. It had to be stopped, and they would never understand that.